Friends, today we will talk about Nazca Lines. These lines are located in the desert of Peru. These pictures are so perfect in every way that it is impossible to make them without the knowledge of mathematics and geometry. These marks are so large in terms of their structure that they can be seen completely from the far sky. These marks were discovered by an ancient civilization 2,000 years ago. But friends, the surprising thing is that people did not know how to speak 2,000 years ago. Neither did they have any modern technology or a ship, etc., through which landing strips and marks could be made. So, what was the purpose of making these marks in reality? After making such a strange structure, where did the people of Nazca civilization suddenly disappear? Do you know that landing strips and marks were not made for humans, but were made for aliens coming to Earth through flying saucers from the sky? Now, how much truth is there in this, and do people have proof of this? Yes. Captain Edwards says that once he was looking down from his ship in this desert, so he saw some strange marks in this strange desert. He was very surprised to see these marks and called his friends through the radio, but the information about these perfect pictures could not be provided. When the captain landed his ship, these marks were so large that they could not be seen completely from the ground. These pictures could be seen completely from the height of the sky. The captain immediately contacted his friends and informed them about these marks. For the first time in 1927, the pilots of the Bavarian military saw these marks. They informed the authorities and the government of these marks, but no one paid much attention. But when many more people started seeing these marks, and when this became widespread, then in 1930, a team of some German physicists and archaeologists who had come to this desert with Maria Ricci saw these marks and had a strange feeling that these marks could not be related to the human world. To find out the truth of this, he began to analyze the depth of these lines in this desert from 1930. When he measured the length and width of this picture, he was surprised because those pictures were not like ordinary pictures, but some of them were so large that a whole city could be populated on them. Those pictures were of monkeys, spiders, and some very large birds, which seemed very impossible to measure. Some shapes were so straight and clear that they were spread for many kilometers like a clear runway. The thing to think about is how these big pictures were made with such a correct style and measurements, because they could not be seen standing on the ground. And even after so many years, these shapes are still the same. There's no change in them. Is this really the landing site of the flying ships where aliens are still coming? But before knowing this question, let's shed some light on the civilization that lived here. Nazca civilization was populated at this place 2,000 years ago, but this whole civilization disappeared somewhere in one day. How did this happen? This civilization was a part of a peaceful world. They had the system of modern civilization. They built modern mathematical structures. In that era, due to the absence of modern equipment and technology, such a perfect structure seemed like a miraculous feat. So, did the creatures of another planet help them? Or did aliens come down from the sky? When researchers researched these structures, some shocking things came to light. This structure was not an ordinary structure, but it was an astronomical map. When researchers researched the picture of this human bird, this came to light. This picture was making a tower of stars on the sky. The picture of the monkey was also looking like a big tower of light, and the structure made like a straight line was determining the direction of the sun and moon around the special days of the year. In 1977, a group of archaeologists discovered some caves in this desert. When they went inside the cave, they saw strange paintings on the walls. Some of these pictures were of very big heads and eyes of alien-like creatures. In some pictures, it seemed like a mysterious creature was coming towards the ground from the sky. Some pictures looked like humans, but their head looked like a creature from another world. Looking at all these pictures, it seemed like this civilization was connected to a creature from another world. Despite all this, the most shocking thing to us is that where did these people suddenly disappear from the ground? This civilization was the modern, intelligent, magnificent, and prosperous civilization of South America. Still, how did this civilization disappear in a blink of an eye? In 1990, when excavation was done in this desert, the bones of the people of this civilization were found there. But those bones were of a very strange type. Some people's heads were separate from their bodies. It seemed as if someone had separated the head and the body, and some skulls were much longer than normal skulls. When research was done on these bones, some of these bones were of animals. During the research, it was also found that some people's bones were cut in such a way as if someone had made these marks with a sharp blade. Some researchers say that natural disasters must have been the cause of their death, because during the period in which this civilization was inhabited, there was a severe earthquake. Research also found that this civilization was also subject to a drought for about 40 years, so the water reserves here began to dry up, and life slowly began to become difficult on this civilization. And in this way, this civilization disappeared from the face of the earth. One theory says that this civilization had relations with the creatures of the other planet, and in this difficult time, the creatures of the other planet took them with them to their planet. In 1980, when UFO researchers were researching straight lines in this desert, which were completely straight like a runway, a strange kind of energy was also recorded in these straight lines, which pointed towards radio signals. If this research is based on truth, then would UFOs land here at any time? When NASA captured the image of this area through a satellite, they noted that some structures have energy sources like electromagnetic light. The elders living in this civilization said that their forefathers used to mention UFOs. Similarly, in 1960, some people claimed that they have seen strange kinds of flying lights flying and disappearing on this desert. In 1986, a pilot claimed that he has seen a strange shining light flying and disappearing on this desert. In addition, some researchers studied the books of this ancient civilization. They found that there was also a mention of such a generation in this book that came from somewhere far away and then went back to the space. When this civilization was inhabited in this desert, they started mapping small shapes in this desert, which can still be seen today. The shapes of this civilization were found on the mountains, while the shapes of Nazca civilization and Paracas civilization are distinct. When the ancient archaeologists examined these shapes in the temples and various places of Paracas civilization, they found that their samples are also like Egyptian minarets. With this, they concluded that it is possible that the Nazca civilization had created a resistance to these traditions of Paracas civilization and kept them intact.